Brothers and sisters, we're going to outline a 6-step program towards becoming more vital and vibrantly alive. We'll start with the premise of natural medicine that wrongful feeding is the primary cause of illness. If that is so, then the times demand that we make every meal count. Unbelievably, almost 80 million Americans, 42% of the population, are obese, and another 30% are overweight. Is it any wonder then that disease sweeps through a population as imbalanced as this? Worldwide, in the last 40 years, the number of obese men has tripled, and the number of obese women has doubled, while the number of underweight people has dropped. For the first time in human history, obese people now outnumber those who are underweight. Think of it. 641 million people worldwide are obese as of 2014. In other words, worldwide, nearly twice the population of the United States is obese. The latest data show that U.S. life expectancy has declined over the past 3 years. The U.S. has the lowest life expectancy among comparable countries. At the top we have Japan, Switzerland, Australia, France, Sweden, and ranking 12th at the bottom is the U.S. Isn't it peculiar that all of the attention goes to one particular pandemic, whereas the others, more widespread and more dangerous, are neglected? There is the pandemic, for example, of cancer, the pandemic of heart disease, the pandemic of high blood pressure, the pandemic of diabetes, the pandemic of obesity, the pandemic of depression, and the pandemic of suicide. All stem from a profound imbalance in how we live and how we relate to one another. Perhaps the fear all around us, bordering on hysteria, is based upon a realization deep down of how estranged we are from nature and how estranged we are from one another. An astonishing 60% of the food Americans eat is ultra-processed, laden with GMOs, containing unnaturally high amounts of sugar, salt, processed oils, and unhealthy fats. This is largely new. It's only occurred since the end of the Second World War. Therefore, the first step in our 6-step program is to avoid utterly ultra-processed and junk food and soda. But of course, the second step is to have a green drink at least once a day. This is one of the treasures bequeathed to us by the raw food movement. Way back in 1960, Dr. Kirshner published his great classic, nature's healing grasses. And here is Dr. Kirshner, the author, at age 82. Since then, Victoria Butenko has promulgated the concept worldwide. And all we ask is that in a blender with every meal, in a blender, you put sprinkle water, parsley, lettuce, celery, kale, Swiss chard. Blend them up into a green smoothie and partake. This is one of the most healing and most powerful things you can do for yourself. A green drink with every meal. The third step is to limit oneself to no more than 2 meals a day. Why not even consider one meal? Why not even, and over and above that, why not fast for 1 day each week? After all, fasting on water is the royal road to health. And I might add, it's especially efficacious when dealing with the common cold. Then there is daily exercise. Why not start with stretches when you wake up? YouTube is replete with simple sequences that you can follow. And given the sedentary nature of the lives that we lead, the fact that most of us are glued to a screen for hours each day, exercise, stretches, sequences of stretches, exercise, and whatever are so vital and so very, very, very important. Then the 5th step is to plant a victory garden, as your forebears did during the Second World War. And if you don't have a backyard, if you live in an apartment, try growing sprouts in your kitchen and join a community garden. Right now is the time to plant a winter garden. You never wait till winter to plant the winter garden. You plant the winter garden now, replete with lettuce, kale, and chard. And the 6th step is to create an edible schoolyard with friends and neighbors. Create a community garden. Imagine a public park filled with heirloom and historic apple trees. Imagine replacing lawns with permaculture orchards. In place of isolation, loneliness, and fear, let's get together with friends and neighbors. It's up to you then. These 6 steps: avoid ultra-processed foods, a green drink with every meal, intermittent fasting, vigorous exercise, victory gardens, and rediscovering friends and family are the first steps towards getting back to whom we are and what we can be. Brothers and sisters, it's more important than ever that we stand up and be counted for the renewal and regeneration of this people and the healing of this American earth. Thank you. It's a privilege to share some thoughts with you. We would love to hear your comments and constructive criticism. Thank you indeed. Let's go forward.